You know, you can set yourself goals at any time of the year, but I bet you knew that, didn't you? Hi vloggers, welcome back to VOHTV and yet another day of the Blogging Basics series. So spring is officially and finally in the air here in the UK. The sun is out, spring flowers are appearing, and it really brings the idea of a fresh start. It's such a magical time here, and it's also the perfect time to review the goals that you set yourself for the year and make sure that you're still working towards them. I see so many people set goals but never get round to taking action on them. And I'm sorry to use a little bit of a cliche quote here, but a dream without a plan is just a wish. Achieving huge goals can seem really intimidating. I mean, think of how the plot goes in any blockbuster movie. There's usually a huge problem that happens, and then the characters in the movie have to work out how they're going to solve it. But that's the thing. Instead of focusing on the task as a whole and the main problem, they focus on just one thing at a time. Just one thing. If you have big dreams or wishes, then you need goals and a plan in order to get there. This past year in particular, I've really learned what works for me and what doesn't work. I've tried loads of different things to help me stay motivated and take action, and today I want to share 7 of those things with you that help me work towards my goals every single day. Before we get started though, make sure you're subscribed to this channel so you can stay up to date with all the videos in the Blogging Basics series. Tip number 1 is to set small goals that add up to big goals. So it's going back to what we said earlier. Characters in the big blockbuster movies don't focus on solving the main problem. They go through each step until they finally come out the other side, and then they've solved the problem. It's these small goals that keep you motivated, and you're more productive this way too. It's a simple analogy really. It's like one of my big goals, launch my first product and course. If I set that as my goal, it becomes too huge and unachievable, and I'll instantly become really demotivated and go back into an old mindset. So if you have that big goal, whatever it is, just ask yourself one question. What step can you take to get there? How should you act? What skills do you need? So for instance, mine could be split into surveying my audience, building a community, creating a plan, and so on. So once you answer the question of what small step you can take today, you'll find that your goals actually become more of a reality rather than just a pipe dream. Set small, achievable goals that lead on to the bigger ones. Tip number 2 is to make sure your goals are smart. You want to set yourself smart goals. Smart, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. This means your goals are concrete and a well-defined measure of your progress. So let's say you've set yourself a goal in your career and you want to work up to become a manager. That's great, you've got a goal. But have you got any idea about what kind of manager you actually want to be? Yep, thought not. If you decide what type of manager you want to be and when you want to become it, you'll then know what you need to do in order to get there. It's like if your lifelong dream is to do a road trip around America. Think about what you can do today to get there. So that might mean figuring out how much money you're going to need or researching places that you can stay. Tip number 3 is to tell someone about your goals. This is my favourite part. Once you've done steps 1 and 2, you now need to tell someone so they can help keep you accountable. If you share your goals with someone who trusts you, who looks out for you, and who is invested in you, it'll help to keep you on track. They'll also be able to support you through the difficult times because, let's be honest, you're going to come across them. But they'll be able to remind you why you started in the first place, which is the most important thing of all. Tip number 4 is to take some starting steps. This is what I love about my Power Sheets goal setting planner, because it doesn't just tell you to set yourself some random tasks when you think of a goal, it asks you to create starting steps. So ask yourself, What are some natural starting steps for your goals? There's no excuse here, you just need to think about it. For instance, if one of your goals for this year is to get fit or tone up, then your starting steps could be to buy a book and do some research on nutrition, or it could be to research joining a gym or looking at exercise classes or getting a personal trainer. Do those starting steps and then think of your next step and your next step. Tip number 5 is a little hard hitting, but I want you to prepare yourself to fail and don't give up. Stay determined, stay persistent. Sometimes it can be really frustrating when you're working towards your goals, but you need to learn to be encouraging towards yourself. Whatever it is that you're working towards, whether it's just a small goal or a big, huge change, be prepared that there will be times that you'll fail. Please don't give up. Sometimes you need to think about what you'd do if you were a dog and just give yourself some positive reinforcement. Okay, so you didn't make it this time, but you gave it your best shot and you'll try again tomorrow. If you focus on the good choices you've made, you'll be less likely to recognize your failures. And every time you take a step forward, you can reward yourself with whatever you want, like a new piece of stationery or a piece of chocolate or a glass of Prosecco. That would definitely be my choice. Every time you do something positive or make a solid decision, just say to yourself, good job. It'll make a difference, I promise. Tip number 6 is to track your progress. There's going to be no way of knowing if you're actually reaching your goals unless you track your progress. This is one of the best things you can do. At the end of each day, just take a few minutes to write down what you did that day, what went well, and what you can work on tomorrow. I use my happiness planner and PowerSheets goal setting planner to do this, and it's such an unbelievably valuable process. It keeps me grounded, it keeps me motivated, and it makes sure that I'm honest with myself. I do this every single night before I go to sleep, and you should do it too. And tip number 7 is to celebrate. Whether you reach your big goal or you just take one small step forward, savor it. Enjoy it and thank those that helped you get there. Think about what you learned along the way and what you enjoyed. Now ask yourself, what can you move on to next? Review your goals throughout the year, but also don't be afraid to change them either. My yearly goals have been slightly altered for the rest of the year, and it's made me feel so much more motivated to achieve them. Keep people involved and just enjoy the journey you're on, my friend, because it's a good one. So which of these tips are you going to use to help turn your goals into reality? Share your thoughts in the comments and leave as much detail as you can, because you never know who might be able to help you. And if you've got some big goals for your blog but you need some accountability to help you get there, then I'd really encourage you to take a look at the blog coaching packages that I have on offer. It's one of the favourite services that I provide, and I love helping bloggers get results, so I'll leave those details in the description for you. That's all for today, bloggers. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe for more blogging basics so you can get one step closer to a breakthrough. You just bossed it.